This is an article from the New York Times from today, the 11th of the 1st, 2018, and the title of it's from the opinion column from an op-ed columnist, and the title of it is "The Lowest White Man," and this is in reference to the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump, and it's penned by Charles M. Blow. And Blow starts off by saying, "I guess Donald Trump was eager to counter the impression in Michael Wolff's book that he is irascible, mentally small, and possibly insane. On Tuesday, he allowed a bipartisan session in the White House about immigration to be televised for nearly an hour." Okay, so let's get back to that. Mentally small. Yeah, built up a business worth $10 billion. Yeah, that a mentally small man can do that. And possibly insane. See how he skirts around actually having the nerve to say, just make the declaration, Blow. If you think that Donald Trump's insane, say it. What are you, a fucking psychiatrist? Are you one of those quacks breaking the law that appears on major TV networks, making declarations against their own ethics, against someone they've never even examined? Fucking... Okay, I reserve my language on him. Anyway, he continues, surely he thought that he would be able to demonstrate to the world his lucidity and acumen, his grasp of the issues, and his relish for rapprochement with his political adversaries. But instead what came through was the image of a man who had absolutely no idea what he was talking about, a man who says things that are 180 degrees from the things he has said before, a man who has no clear line of reasoning, a man who is clearly out of his depth and willing to do and say anything to please the people in front of him. Trump has come through on tax cuts, immigration and job creation, all of which were his electoral promises. Anyway, this garbage author in his pissball commentary continues. He demonstrated once again that he is a man without principle. That's rubbish. Interested in how good he can make himself look and how much money he can make. No, that's not correct. Yes, he has an intrinsic hostility to people who are not white. That is a fucking lie. He has made it crystal clear, that this is my words now, that he is opposed to illegal immigration. And of course he should be, of course. Anyway, let's repeat that lie again from this clown. Yes, he has an intrinsic hostility to people who are not white. It's such a lie, particularly when they challenge him. But as a matter of policy, the whole idea of building a wall for Mexico, which Mexico would pay, was just a cheap campaign stunt to once again please the people in front of him. Well, if he could get it through Congress, I'm quite sure that he'd do it. Anyway, Trump is not committed to that wall on principle. He is committed only to looking good as a result of whatever comes of it. Mexico is never going to pay for it, and he knows it. Well, I wouldn't count on that, because there are various ways of making Mexico pay through tariffs. And he says he has always known it. No. That was just another lie. No, it wasn't a lie, it was a promise, and if he can do it, I'm quite sure he will. If he can't, loads of people, including myself, will round on him. But anyway, maybe, hey, if this guy turns out to be correct, I'll be the first to apologise to him and support him on that particular policy of Trump's. But I do believe he is being severely hindered. Anyway, he continues, someone must have stuck the phrases chain migration and diversity lottery into his brain. Easy buzzwords, you see, and he can now rail against those ideas for applause lines. Well, there is chain migration, and it's a disgrace, and there is a diversity lottery. Anyway, Mr. Blow continues by saying, but he is completely malleable on actual immigration policy. Well, he's been held back all the time by the deep state. He is under tremendous pressure behind closed doors. He is surrounded by people who, as far as I'm concerned, are traitors and don't have the best interests of the American people, the United States, or for that matter the whole world, at heart. Anyway, to continue his article, he doesn't have the stamina for that much reading. Trump has about 5 hours sleep a night, like Margaret Thatcher and Winston Churchill. So he has plenty of stamina. Learning about immigration would require reading more words that would fit on a television news Chiron, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about there. What does the average American need to know about immigration, like the rest of us throughout the Western world? That it's bad for the economy, because it is, provably so. We're all suffering from mass unemployment, and if you have mass unemployment, the most ridiculous thing you can do is bring in particularly unqualified immigrants to take jobs away from other people, maintaining high unemployment rates, which hand in hand drugs go with that, and automatically crime doubles. That's insanity personified, and it's the insanity of the virtue signalling left. Anyway, I'll continue the article. If Donald Trump follows through with what he has said during that meeting, his base will once again be betrayed. He will have proved once again that he was saying anything to keep them angry, even telling lies. He will have demonstrated once again his incompetence and unfitness. Well, let's see. And once again, they won't care. That is because Trump is man as message, man as messiah. Trump's support isn't philosophical, but theological. Yeah, you see how I was about to say how the inversion is kicking in here, the mirror imagery, to put it in another psychological way, because the guy continues to say Trumpism is a religion founded on patriarchy and white supremacy. Well, that's another fucking lie. Trump has never supported patriarchy or white supremacy, and unless I'm much mistaken, wasn't he the first big building guy in the United States to employ a woman to be in charge of building a skyscraper on behalf of his enterprise? Anyway, he continues, it is the belief that even the least qualified man is a better choice than the most qualified woman. I presume he's talking about Hillary here. This is the qualified woman who doesn't have she has nothing of political standing to her, any kind of credibility politically whatsoever. All she ever did was damage. I mean, didn't she wreck Libya? We came, we saw, he died, talking about the death of Gaddafi. And since then, Libya has now become a centre. CNN have done a report on this, for Christ's sakes, unless I'm much mistaken, about how modern slavery is now carrying on in Libya. Gaddafi warned about this, and Libya has now become the gateway for poor Africans to pay a lot of money to these people traffickers to try to get to Europe, where they're not frankly welcome, because we have terrible immigration problems and unemployment problems. They get trapped in Libya and they get sold off into bloody slavery. Most qualified women, really, the Clinton Foundation, a money laundering exercise, pay for play. That's most qualified, is it? Where it's proven that she's talked so much over the years about equal pay, yet the Clinton Foundation, when investigated, it was discovered paid its male employees, on average, more than its female ones. What was the Clinton Foundation, or does it continue to break the 1963 Equal Pay Act, or Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act? No, it doesn't. It's just men go for better jobs. Right, you know the equal pay stuff. Anyway, I'll continue this article. God, if I can. And belief that the most vile, anti-intellectual, scandal-plagued simpleton of a white man. Why don't you just call him a man? Why are you specifying his race? This is pure racism. This man is a racist and he is a liar. It's sufficient to follow in the presidential footsteps of the best educated, most eloquent, most affable black man. Barack Obama is no longer in office, so why the comparison? But he makes another comparison. As President Lyndon B. Johnson said in the 1960s to a young Bill Moyers, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best coloured man, He won't notice you're picking his pocket. He'll give him somebody, hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. Is this the same Lyndon B. Johnson who was accused of, after signing the 1964 Civil Rights Act, that said we'll have those niggers votes for the next 200 years? I'm obviously going to leave a link to this article. I'll put it in the comment section and I'll pin it to the top. But after what they've just said about Lyndon Baines Johnson, let's go to another, let's have a look. Yeah, another New York Times article that I have here from 1990, the title of which, How Johnson Won Election He'd Lost. A study of Lyndon B. Johnson provides new evidence that the 36th president stole his first election to the United States Senate in 1948. And I wonder, is this also the same Lyndon B. Johnson who wanted the USS Liberty to be sunk to the bottom of the bloody sea during the Six-Day War? I believe it was. So below continues, in a way, Donald Trump represents white people's right to be wrong and still be right. Bullshit. He is the embodiment of the unassailability of white power and white privilege. Unassailability meaning he can't be challenged. What the fuck do you think you're doing right now in the New York Times, Mr. Blow? You're challenging him. And it was Barack Obama who was very rarely challenged by the mainstream media. To abandon him is to give up on the pact that America's made with its white citizens from the beginning. The government will help to underwrite white safety and success. Donald Trump wasn't there at the beginning, even at the expense of other people in this country, whether they be Native Americans, African Americans or new immigrants. Well, if they're new legal immigrants, that's fine with me, but illegal immigrants, no, fuck them. But this idea of elevating the lowest white man, there he goes again, that's racism, over those more qualified or deserving, didn't begin with Johnson's articulation. Johnson, the vote-fiddling, let's sink the USS Liberty and let Israel send the ship to the fucking bottom and get away with it and claim that it was a case of mistaken identity. It was not. And won't end with Trump's manifestation. This is woven into the fabric of the flag. No, so now he's attacking the flag. Oh, what a sod. Anyway, as I have written here before, he says, when Alabama called a constitutional convention in 1901, oh, he's going into ancient history here, Emmett O'Neill, who later became governor, is this worth looking at? No, it's argued that the state should lay deep and strong and permanent in the fundamental law of the state, the foundation of white supremacy forever in Alabama. What the fuck has that got to do with Donald Trump over 100 fucking years later? Anyway, he blabbers on. If you want to read the whole thing, like I say, it'll be linked to the top in the comments section. But his final words are, for white supremacy to be made perfect, the lowest white man must be exalted above those who are black. Trump is doing nothing of the sort, and if this guy doesn't know that, God, I worry about the state of his mind, I really do. No matter how much of an embarrassment and a failure Trump's proves to be, hence the millions of jobs, the illegal immigration being cut down on, and the tax cuts, his exploits, those aren't exploits, those are achievements, must be judged a success. Yes, because they are. And he finalises by saying he must be deemed a correction to Barack Obama and a superior choice to Hillary Clinton. White supremacy demands it. No, that's rubbish. Patriarchy demands it. No, that's rubbish. Trump supporters demand it. He was a better choice than Hillary Clinton because she wanted to go to war with Iran and Russia, and she trashed Libya and all of the other things I mentioned. Anyway, thank you very much if you've got this far. But God bless Donald Trump, I will say that. He is like a godsend for America. I mean, we got Brexit, and now we've got Theresa May, and she's not going through with it. And God bless the United States. And I don't mean that to kiss ass. Thank you.